Why am I getting calls and I haven't even said anything?
Because this is the monster of all monsters.
Who? Me?
This Diddy case.
Why would I, Jason Lee, and I haven't even said anything?
A 30-second cell phone clip surfaced online at dawn, and by lunchtime, the Bayhive was buzzing louder than a stadium crowd. Blogger-turned-podcast host Jason Lee swore the footage proved Beyoncé's 8-year-old twins, Sir and Rumi Carter, are on the autism spectrum. Within hours, #ProtectTheTwins trended worldwide, reaction videos multiplied like wildfire, and family loyalists demanded answers. The Carters have guarded those children's privacy like a state secret for nearly a decade. So what could possibly be on that tape, and why is Jason so certain it will crack music's most fortified fortress? But that first shockwave was only the beginning.
Maybe she doesn't know.
Beyonce doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't think Beyonce. They're not going to share that with her.
Yvette knows. I got the receipts. I still have the receipts. Yvette know I got the receipts. I got them. Now if I get that message to Beyonce, the receipts I just told you about, then I'll put those out.
The fires that will come of that.
I ain't worried. I ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you right now. I'm not playing this industry game.
Jason broke the story on Hollywood Unlocked, teasing undeniable receipts and daring anyone, including Beyonce herself, to refute him. He claimed to have watched raw, unedited video of the twins during a private family gathering, insisting the behavior he saw was textbook ASD, and that medical paperwork backs it up. The podcast clip spread across TikTok and X in minutes. Fan-run timeline accounts dissected every frame, while mainstream outlets hesitated, unsure how to cover a rumor involving minors. What made the claim hit harder was timing. Beyoncé had just wrapped her Cowboy Carter World Tour, bringing Rumi on stage for a quick birthday serenade the night before. Viewers noticed the little girl waving confidently, yet Sir was nowhere in sight. Fuel for theorists who already suspected the boy's needs were more complex. By sunset, the rumor mill was in overdrive, but Jason wasn't done. "I run toward fires," he bragged on air. "And if you try to smother this one, I'll just fan the flames." A threat or a promise? Either way, the internet smelled smoke. Next up, why Jason Lee and the Carters have been circling each other for years, and why this clash felt inevitable. To understand the hostility, rewind to 2019 when Jason loudly complained that Roc Nation never invited him to its famed Gold Party. Over the next few years, he lobbed subtweets about being blacklisted from Beyoncé events, even as he praised her artistry. Insiders whispered he tried repeatedly to land a one-on-one with Jay-Z or Queen Bee, but was politely ignored. The snub stung, and Jason's platforms grew more provocative each time access was denied. Fast forward to early 2025, Lee claims Beyoncé's camp offered him hush money to bury monster rumors. He refused, he says, because silence never bought him the validation he wanted. Instead, he weaponized the alleged tapes, publicly challenging Team Carter to call me themselves if they're brave. The tactic felt less like journalism and more like a game of high-stakes poker, one side flashing chips of celebrity power, the other flaunting potentially career-ending receipts. But why do the twins sit at the center of this standoff? The answer begins with Beyoncé's famously ironclad privacy. Since Sir and Rumi's birth in 2017, the Carters have shared only hand-selected images, studio portraits, filtered vacation snaps, brief cameos in stylized tour visuals. Paparazzi shots, zero. Unauthorized school-run pictures, never. Even fan-shot concert footage is scrubbed before the twins' faces come into clear focus. That level of control fueled whispers. Was Beyoncé hiding more than just their location? Critics argued it was simple boundary setting. Supporters countered that no child should live under a microscope. Yet, the absence itself became a storyline. The less outsiders saw, the more they speculated. By the time Jason claimed he'd viewed private home video, the public had spent 8 years filling a vacuum with theories. In other words, the soil was perfectly tilled for his bombshell to take root. Still, rumors need fertilizer, and Beyoncé unwittingly supplied it back in 2018 when she opened up about a harrowing pregnancy. In a rare first-person Vogue essay, Beyoncé revealed she'd developed severe preeclampsia, toxemia, carrying the twins. Bedridden for a month, she ultimately underwent an emergency C-section. One baby's heartbeat even stopped briefly. Both newborns spent weeks in the NICU before coming home. Medical researchers note a possible link between maternal preeclampsia and increased autism spectrum diagnoses later in childhood, though findings remain correlational, not causal. That nuance rarely survives social media telephone. Might raise risk, quickly morphed into definitely causes. By 2020, fan forums whispered the twins were neurodivergent. By 2023, TikTok diagnosticians were citing every limited public clip as proof. Jason's latest claim plugged neatly into that pre-existing narrative. Whether he possesses legitimate medical documents or only speculation, his story aligns with an internet already primed to believe. But Lee didn't stop at health rumors. He hinted Beyonce owes him a debt and he's ready to cash it in. Mid-podcast, Jason leaned toward his co-host and whispered off mic, triggering gasps. Moments later, he went on record. "If Kelly Rowland doesn't sit for my interview, I'm dropping everything I've got." Listeners felt the temperature drop. Was he cornering Beyonce by dangling loyalty to her Destiny's Child sister? Critics blasted the move as blackmail. Supporters framed it as a desperate journalist forcing a powerful gatekeeper to acknowledge him. Lee insists he once stopped a major fire for Beyonce without even receiving a thank you, and that this leak is payback. He teases a manila envelope of screenshots, medical forms, and raw video that could set careers on fire. Yet, he releases nothing concrete, fueling a cat-and-mouse drama that keeps audiences refreshing timelines. But the Carters aren't the only family members who can play defense. Enter Solange Knowles, sister, artist, and occasional bringer of cosmic retribution. When Solange posted a photo of a candlelit altar, complete with crystals, herbs, and what fans dubbed ancestor energy, speculation ran rampant. Jason now claims the post was aimed not at Nicki Minaj, as gossip initially assumed, but at him, a mystical cease and desist cloaked in symbolism. Solange hasn't confirmed the intent, yet her track record, remember the 2014 elevator incident, suggests she protects her family with ferocity. Behind the scenes, sources say Solange confronted mutual industry friends, demanding they stop platforming Jason's allegations. Whether true or not, the story amplifies her reputation as Beyonce's silent enforcer, ready to channel spiritual or physical energy to safeguard the twins. Still, Jason's most jarring allegation is geographical, not spiritual. He claims Sir lives far from the spotlight altogether. On a follow-up livestream, Lee alleged that Sir's autism is severe, and that the boy resides in a discreet, top-tier neurocare center outside Los Angeles, visited regularly, but not raised in the family's main home. No photographs, addresses, or paperwork accompanied the claim, leaving fact-checkers empty-handed. The internet split instantly. Abandonment accusations, critics painted Beyonce as ashamed, citing a resurfaced Azealia Banks tweet that slammed her for hiding your son. Compassion defenses. Supporters countered that intensive support services might be the most loving choice for a child with high needs. Disability rights voices, advocates warned that sensationalizing a diagnosis fuels stigma and undermines neurodivergent children everywhere. No verifiable records confirm Sir lives off-site. The claim remains unproven. Yet, it raises a thorny conversation about how much privacy celebrity parents owe their differently abled kids, and how fast the public turns suspicion into judgment. Which brings us to the final, uncomfortable question. Where does rumor stop and reality start? What's substantiated today, Beyonce indeed faced preeclampsia and a traumatic birth. The twins' public exposure is almost non-existent by design. Jason Lee did broadcast claims of autism, a payoff attempt, and unseen video. What's still unverified? The authenticity and content of Lee's alleged footage. Any medical diagnosis for Sir or Rumi protected health information. Whether the boy resides in an outside facility. Legal experts note that releasing private medical material involving minors could invite swift litigation, yet Lee seems undeterred. Privacy advocates warn the mere threat weaponizes disability for clicks. Meanwhile, fans hover in limbo, refreshing feeds for proof they may never see. So where does that leave the narrative, and why can't the world look away? For 16 years, Beyonce has balanced megastardom with near-military control over personal details. That strategy built mystique and a curiosity gap wide enough for rumors to flood whenever a crack appears. Jason Lee found the crack, widened it with bombastic flair, and forced the public to confront its own appetite for forbidden facts. If the footage is real, the Carters must decide whether to confirm, deny, or continue their silence, risking a drip of speculation. If it's fake, Lee gambles his credibility against a lawsuit he might not outrun. Either way, one lesson is clear. In an era of omnipresent cameras and monetized gossip, even the world's most powerful musical dynasty can't fence off every secret forever. And as long as Jason Lee claims to hold cards the Carters refuse to see, the next hand could upend the table, leaving fans, foes, and family to sort through the ashes of a mythos once thought untouchable. Subscribe to stay tuned, because the quiet before the next leak is often the loudest sound in pop culture.